Hello everyone, welcome back. This is lecture 1, class 9, subject English. In this lecture we are going to discuss poem 4 of Beehive, that is the Lake Isle of Innisfree. In this particular lecture we will discuss the subtopics. First, we will have a look about the poet, then the introduction of the poem, then we will discuss the explanation of each stanza of the poem, then after that central idea, then theme of this poem, the tone and the moral values. Then we will discuss the new words of this poem which have been used in the poem, and then the poetic devices. So we will discuss each of these subtopics in this lecture. Let's start with this poem first. The Lake Isle of Innisfree, written by William Butler Yeats. William Butler Yeats. Let's have a look on the biography of poet William Butler Yeats. Date of birth 13th June 1865. Place of birth, he was born in Dublin in Ireland. Nationality, Irish. Professions, he was a poet, playwright, politician and astrologer. Famous work, The Wanderings of Oisin and other poems, and such plays as The Countess Kathleen and Derrida. Notable awards, he was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1923. Then he became the member of Irish Senate from 1922 to 1928, and he was also referred to as the greatest Irish poet in the 20th century. Then he died on 28 January 1939. Now let's see the introduction of the poem, what this poem is actually all about. As the title of the poem suggests, the Lake Isle of Innisfree. This poem is a lyric. It is a musical poem. It explores the poet's longing for the peace and tranquility of Innisfree and the immense peace of this place, that is Innisfree, a place where he spent a lot of time as a boy. That means a place where he had spent his childhood. Innisfree is the name of a place. That was the name of a place in his imagination. It is a very quiet place, and that is the reason the poet wants to go there. That means this poem reveals the charm of a rural area, and in his imagination the poet is admiring the place of his childhood and longed and wished to go back there. He had spent his childhood in this place. He has very sweet memories of that place, and that is why he wanted to go back to the lake island of Innisfree. He was fed up with the hectic schedule of city life, so he just wanted to go back, to switch back to the memories of his childhood. So this was the introduction of the poem. Let's start with the first stanza of the poem. I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin built there of clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honey bee, and live alone in the bee loud glade. Arise means stand up. The poet starts with the saying that he will wake up and go to the island of Innisfree. He is discussing the things that he is going to do there once he will reach there, and a small cabin built there. So the poet is longing to go to Innisfree, a place which is full of peace, calm, and once he will go there, he will build a small cabin there of clay and wattles. Clay means mud and wattle means material consisting of roots mixed with twigs or branches used for building walls. So he will build a small cabin made of clay and wattles. Then he will also plant 9 bean rows. Why is only 9 number has been selected by the poet? Why not 6, 4, 5? Why the poet is emphasizing on 9 bean rows? That means he is going to plant bean crops in 9 number of rows. 9 means that any number can be created from the digits from 1 to 9, from 0 to 9, right? So any number can be created. That means he wanted to grow as many plants as he could grow there. Then he will have a hive for the honey bee and live alone in the bee loud glade. Then after planting 9 bean rows, he will have a hive for the honey bee. So the poet is saying that when he wakes up, this place Innisfree is in his imagination. He wanted to be transported away from the city life to a life of activity in a rural area. The poet mentioned 2 main activities that he would like to engage in: to build a cabin and plant 9 bean rows, and beekeeping. He wishes to live alone where buzzing sound of the bees will fill the entire environment. That means the poet is saying that he will build a small cabin of clay and wattles, then he will plant 9 bean rows, and he will have a hive for the honey bee. And also he is going to live alone in the bee loud glade. Bee loud glade means an open space. Clay and wattles. Clay, mud, wattles, material used for building fences. Then glade, open space in a forest. So the poet is wishing to go back to his place of childhood and wanted to spend some time with nature. Stanza 2. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes drooping slow, drooping from the vales of the morning to where the cricket sings. There midnights all a glimmer and noon a purple glow. Glimmer means shine. And evenings full of the linnet's wings. So the poet says that his life on the island of Innisfree will be peaceful. And I shall have some peace there. That suggests that poet would like to enjoy the peace and calmness of the island of Innisfree, for peace comes drooping slow. Slowly and slowly the peace and the calmness of that place will fill the poet's heart with happiness. Drooping from the veils of the morning. Veils means misty atmosphere in the morning. Like generally veil refers to the covering used by a woman to cover her face. Similarly, the poet has compared the veils of the morning. That means when he would get up, he would be confronting with the beautiful view of the morning that will ultimately vanish the darkness of the last night. To where and his morning will start with the hearing of the cricket sings. Cricket, a bird, a jumping insect that makes a sound by rubbing its front wings together. That means he is connecting peacefulness with the early morning, and peace will come to him readily as morning comes and he wakes up to the sound of crickets chirping. He says that when in Innisfree he would be peaceful gradually by confronting this beautiful view with the hearing of the chirping of cricket bird. He describes how he would feel peaceful in the morning time when it is cloudy and the view is not very clear, Then it will appear as if the morning has worn a veil and has hidden itself. Looking at this scene will make him feel peaceful. Then at midnight he will see the twinkling stars in the open sky, and their shine will give him peace. In the afternoon, when the sunlight will give a purplish glow, it will also give him peace. During the evening, when he will see the linnet bird flying in the sky, then also he will feel peaceful. Linnet, a small bird of brown and grey color. He is comparing the darkness, the congested city life with the peaceful life in the island of Innisfree. The poet likes midnight, the poet likes the morning, the evening purple glow that can be experienced by one in a peaceful place like Innisfree. He also likes noon as well as evening, which is full of the sound of the linnet bird's melodious song. And actually he is comparing the morning, evening and the glimmer of the stars, the shining stars of in the night, with the same phenomena in the city life where hardly one enjoys the morning, evening or the shining stars in the night, as all are busy in their day-to-day life and we do not get enough time to enjoy the scenic beauty of the nature, which the poet is actually longing to enjoy by switching off from the city life to a life full of peace, to reside in the lap of the nature for some time so that he could enjoy such beauty that would ultimately vanish all his sadness, darkness, and also would make him feel refreshed. Stanza 3. I will arise and go now, for always, night and day. I hear the lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore, while I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey. I hear it in the deep heart's core. That means the poet is saying that he will definitely go, he will get up, he will arise. That means he will definitely get up and will go to this place, to this island that is Innisfree, as he could not forget this place that will fill his heart with immense peace and calmness. Throughout the day and night, he can only hear one sound in his mind, and after experiencing the beautiful views of the nature by residing in this place of Innisfree, and when he ultimately comes back, as he cannot stay there for long or forever, he is supposed to come back to his place, to his original routine, that is his city life. And when he stands on the roadway or on the pavements dull and drab paths of the city. So the poet is recalling, is reviving the memories of the moments spent in the Innisfree. He could hear the water lapping. He could hear the sound of the lake water that were lapping at the shore of the sea. Throughout the day and night, he can only hear one sound in his mind, that of the water reaching the shore of the island at a calm pace and creating a soft lapping sound. He hears this sound deep with his own heart as he goes about his life in the urban setting of the roadways and pavements. This urban setting contains none of the colors that make Innisfree beautiful. Instead, it appears grey and boring. That means In the last stanza, the poet says that he will definitely get up and go to Innisfree because he cannot forget this place. The memories are still reviving and popping up in his mind continuously, though he had returned back to his original pace of life, to his boring pace of life. But still, the striking of the lake waters on the shore, the sound continuously gets repeated in his mind, and this sound attracts him towards the lake. He is standing on the roadway or on the pavements. He hears the sound in the innermost part of his heart. That means the poet is longing to experience such tranquility of peace and calmness by residing in the lap of the nature. And when he does, he cannot forget the moments spent there, as the dull and boring life could not give him that immense happiness which he could feel while residing in the island of Innisfree. Now let's see the central idea of the poem. The poem is a longing for peace and greenery and all that is natural. The central idea of the poem is to showcase the longing one feels for some quiet and alone time after living in a crowded, congested place like a city. The central idea lies behind the fact the one admires, the one longs to enjoy the charm of a rural area. It's all about how the speaker's dream for the future don't quite reconcile with his present situation and about the clash between dreams and reality. William Butler Yeats captures the longing for home and peace in his poem quite beautifully. He beautifully captures the moments, the cherishing moments, his longingness for home and for peace. In fact, one can say this poem is a reflection of Keats' desire itself. Keats' wish to go back to some place and to live or to spend some moments with nature. At the time of its creation, Keats was in a city. He was living in a city, a bustling, crowded city, and his innermost desire to go to his home and to peace came out bursting in the form of this poem. So one can eventually reconcile the fact that his utmost desire to switch from this crowded city to a place of peace and calmness, that was the place of his childhood, that is the rural area, and this place, the island of Innisfree, is one of such places in his imaginations where he could feel the same peace and happiness. Theme. Now let's see the theme of the poem. Nature brings peace and harmony to man. It is a well-known fact that if one spends some time with nature, that will definitely bring peace and harmony to man. Nature provides man with lovely sights and sounds which pleases him and enables him to live a peaceful and stress-free life. That means if we feel depressed, shattered, devastated or troubled, that time if we spend some time with nature, admiring the beauty, the sounds and everything which are there in nature, then definitely that will help us to switch from our sadness to sort of peace. Man should live close to nature. Human beings should live close to nature. He should not be engaged in his own day-to-day work so much that he did not get any time to spend the same with nature. The poet himself wants to escape to this peaceful and beautiful place and build his dream home there. The poet In this poem, as we have seen, wanted to escape from the boredom of city life, from the day-to-day hectic schedule of city life, and wanted to switch to the peaceful and beautiful place that is the Lake Isle of Innisfree, and also he wanted to build his dream home there. Tone: calm and relaxing tone. The reader may picture a person physically arising and leaving to this place Innisfree, as the tone of the poem suggests that the poet is eager to get up and go to this place. The readers also can imagine in front of their eyes the picture of the same which has been portrayed by the poet. However, instead of physically going to this place, the narrator is going there with his mind. He is imagining the place to switch from the boredom to a place of calmness, and he is not going physically there, but everything is being imagined, and he wishes to go back to that place, and he goes there in his imagination world, and he did not go there physically, right? The place is completely imagined in his head. He is imagining the place of his childhood and has given it a name, the Lake Isle of Innisfree. It helps him to relax and escape the rush of modern living. And this imagination eventually helps him to switch from the schedule of his city life, to switch from the boredom, the shattered life, the city life, to a place of relaxation, and also fills him with some sort of happiness and calmness. Moral values. We must appreciate nature as it has many benefits to offer us. We must learn to be close to nature and enjoy its beauty. We must take time to be in places where we are able to find peace and quiet to make our lives less stressful, harmonious, and very meaningful. So the moral values that we have got from this poem is that nature has its utmost importance, and one cannot deny the fact that the healing power of nature through its beauty has an everlasting impact on the minds of the human beings when they feel shattered. We should be proud of the natural heritage and preserve our nature. So one should feel proud and also should feel their utmost duty to preserve the beauty of this nature, as the nature helps us in healing our wounds, sufferings, and the troubles or the problems that we face in our life. Directly or indirectly, the nature always soothes our mind and gives a comfort to our heart and mind every time. New words arise, stand up. Cabin, room, wattles, twisted sticks for making fences and walls. Glade, clearing or open space. Vales, misty atmosphere in morning. Cricket, an insect related to the grasshoppers, that means related to this species, or you can say to this phylum of grasshoppers. Linnet, a small brown and grey bird with a short beak. Lapping, striking. Low, soft. Pavements grey, dull and drab paths. Hard score, the innermost part of the heart. Poetic devices which have been used by the poet in this poem. Alliteration, the repetition of a consonant sound. The instances of alliteration in the poem are hive and honeybee, H sound is repeated, then lake, lapping, low, L sound is repeated. Repetition. Repetition means the repetition of a particular phrase or words. I will arise and go now is repeated in stanza 1 and 3. Personification. Morning is personified. We have discussed the meanings of these poetic devices in our poem 1 and 2. So personification, which are used to personify the things when the natural, the non-living things are treated as real, as the morning has been compared with the living things. Metaphor, clouds are compared to whales. Metaphor, when we compare two things without the use of like and as. Then we have imagery. There is a fair amount of imagery in this poem. Like we can behold that small cabin. Imagery, the poetic device used to create images in the minds of the readers, and such imageries have been used like small cabin. One can imagine 9 rows of beans, buzzing hive of bees, the slowly dawning sky, the peaceful cricket's song, the shimmery glimmer midnight, the purple sky in the noon, and finally the beating of the small linnet bird's wings. Such images have been used in the poem, and one can easily imagine the images in the mind. Now your homework is that you have to read the poem carefully and do the textual questions and some extra questions which are given. Extra questions. First, why does the poet want Innisfree? Second, what kind of living environment does the poet desire at Innisfree? Third, how will the midnight look at Innisfree? Fourth, why does peace comes drooping slow at Innisfree? So, you are going to read the poem carefully, go through the new words, the poetic devices, the explanation of the poem. Then in your fair notebook, write down the date, poem number, name, and the most important, in the next line right corner, the poet's name. Then you will start with the textual questions only. After completing your textual questions, you will do the extra questions. You will put a separate head, extra questions, and then you will solve them and also correct your errors or rectify your errors by matching your answers with the solutions provided on EdQuark. Do the work in a proper way. Draw margins after each and every answer using scale and pencil. Thank you.